Hey everybody, I know in the last tool pick video, it was a really long one, in the last section I had mentioned that I was probably going to start, or I was seriously considering not doing these tool pick videos anymore. So what I'm going to do today is kind of a compromise. We'll give this a dry run and see how this works out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move a lot more quickly and blow right through these things. And we'll take a look. If the view count stays kind of decent, then maybe I'll continue on with that plan. If that doesn't work out, I'll probably end up just canning the tool videos altogether and concentrate on other stuff. So anyways, without further ado, this is picks from an outdoor flea market on June 20th, 2021. And away we go. All right, so this is the General Hardware drill point gauge. It's actually in pretty decent shape. I got that for $3. That was the first buy of the day. Next up, off a dealer, asked him if he had any machinist tools. This is the only thing he had, was this very, very rusty looking square, but it's a Starrett 120 underneath all that rust, and I got it for $2. Next buy was this little hand vise. It's not a very early one. It's got this nice blue paint on it, and it's marked Japan. So I don't know who makes it, but it's in excellent shape actually. And these are really handy for holding really small parts when you're up at the grinder or something like that. So I got that for $4. Probably going to keep that one. This is a little set of Torx, but they're not male. They're female Torx sockets. So I do not have any of these, I don't think. So I figured it'd be handy to have a little set like that. And they actually seem like they're pretty decent made. This is just marked Torx E14 USA. So made in the USA, but no idea who makes them. Don't care. Just going to keep them for myself anyways. Next up is this little optical viewer. I just bought one of these a little while back and was surprised at how expensive it was to buy one of these new. This style, this happens to also be an SPI, and it has the reticle in it, so you can actually use this to make measurements on items. So that's a nice little deal right there, and that was only $2. So that was a really good deal. No, I haven't broke bad. It's a BB gun. It's a 1008 Repeat Air by Crosman Air Guns. I have no idea how to open this. I'm sure that there's some way that this is supposed to open so that you can put a CO2 cartridge in here. Have no idea if it works or anything about it really. But I decided to take a chance on it. The trigger works. And I got it for $1. So I figure you can't beat that with a stick for $1, right? This is an early Hansen die handle. It says adjustable guide die stock for 1 1/4 inch OD dies by the Hansen company. It's in excellent condition. It's even got a couple of dies in there with it and one in it. So I thought it was kind of neat. I like the chrome plating or nickel plating on it. I got this for $15. This is a little set of thread wires. This dealer was really tough on his prices. I almost walked away on this because we couldn't come to terms on it. He wouldn't budge off of his $10 price on these, and in the end I ended up just taking them because they're Micro Tools USA thread wires. I probably can get 15 or $20 for these, no problem, so might as well. I got this unopened quart of Craftsman motorcycle, small engine 30 weight oil, good for lawnmowers and what. I got that for $2. I got this following pile of items for $35. It includes a Dunlap plane. I don't really know much about these wood planes, but when I can get them, if they're in good condition like this and I can get them for about $5, I usually take a chance on them because I usually know I can get 10 from the guys that I know that collect those vices and stuff. This is a little gear reduction unit by the PIC Design Corporation, Ben Russ subsidiary. This is a model DN-9. It's a 60-to-1 ratio gear reduction unit. It's kind of neat. It's got a shaft that goes straight through, so you can hook up on either side of it, and then it's got the output shaft perpendicular to it. And I might find a project that at some point I'm going to want a reduction unit that's nice and small like that. So always handy, big iron hook. this neat little vise. It's like a miniature version of the blacksmith's vise. I have not looked up any details on this yet. Love the look of it. This guy I buy a lot of stuff from usually always has good cheap deals on stuff, so I figured I definitely would take a chance on this. It's got kind of a whole funky thing going on here. I'm not even sure. I guess now that I look at it, there's something supposed to go in this hole right here that would allow me to clamp this to the table, which is missing. So that's unfortunate. But it's got a really nice look to it. You know, looks like a really early forging, judging from the way this is put together. I mean, that might be a sleeper, might be a collectible vise for somebody. And we'll work on figuring out what that is down the road. PTO overrunning clutch. This is for if you have an older tractor with a PTO on it and you don't want the inertia from a big implement like a brush hog or something like that causing the tractor to causing the PTO to continue to be rotated by the inertia of the machine when you go to stop and making the tractor move forward. So older tractors that have the PTO run off the transmission, you run the risk of that happening unless you put on one of these overrunning clutches. This is brand new, still in the plastic, never been used. Don't know the name on it, don't really care, because it's a hell of a price for this. Even if this is a Tractor Supply cheapie, it was included in this lot for 35 bucks. This is made in India, so it's a cheapie, but that's all right. And this stack of slitting saws that he had there, actually it was a bunch of them. I put them all together into one stack. These are all slitting saws. They actually are all still sharp. They're just dirty. I think they may have been in packages like these originally, and that the packages just from age deteriorated and fell apart. A lot of these say they're F&D, which is F&D Tool Company, whoever the hell that is. When I went back to that guy who I bought all that stuff from a little later on, he still had this stack of cutters that I had initially passed on because I got so many of these. But then this he had in the truck, he hadn't pulled out yet. This radius cutter was with these. So we were going back and forth dealing on this. This is a import branded grinding vise. It's actually in great condition. It's a cheaper import, but it was sold by, TTC, it was sold by the Travers Tool Company, and right out of their catalog. It's a PV200, which I looked it up. It's still in the catalog. It sells new for like 180 bucks. So we were going back and forth on price on this, and we settled on 40 bucks for this vise with this stack of cutters and this radius cutter. And the last two items from the same person I got for 16 bucks. There are a couple of electronics items. And the first of the two items that these women had sitting there on their table, they had a bunch of Alesis rack stuff, but some of it was like EQ and vocal stuff that I really didn't have any interest in. But this caught my eye. This is an Alesis DM5 high sample rate drum module. So I had no idea what this was. I thought maybe it was some sort of a drum machine, and come to find out, I think what it actually is, believe it or not, on the back here, there's a whole row of inputs that are triggers. I think you're supposed to have electronic drums plugged into the back of this. And I got to get an AC adapter to try it and see if it even turns on or does anything. And then maybe we can fake some kind of a trigger to simulate drums just to see whether or not it does anything. But, I'm just going to flip that real quick. But I will definitely see if I've got an extra AC adapter and power it up. If it powers up and does anything, that's going to bring a little bit more money when I go to sell it than, say, if it's just, completely dead and burnt out. So took a complete chance on that. But like I said, I got that for 16 bucks with this next piece. And the other item I got from those two ladies is this ART Multiverb 3. This is a rack mount processor. This is Applied Research and Technology is the name of the company. believe they were in business in the mid-'80s. I think they've long since gone out of business. Back when I used to really be into guitar, I did buy a rack processor from this company, and I still have it. It's mothballed currently, but somewhere in my stuff I have that thing. I'll have to break it out one of these days and maybe get back to playing around. Anyways, I brought it up here to the office so I could use my Adcom power amp and see if I could test it, only I'm realizing now I cannot find my adapter plugs. This has all 1/4 inch line in and line out jacks on the back and microphone XLR jacks. That's it. So I'm not going to be able to run audio through it, but just the fact that it powers up is a good sign. Not only does it power up, but it does accept commands. I am able to switch channels. All the buttons seem to be working. So, and when I talk into the microphone, I was able to get the little VU meter, input meter, to actually register. So very strong probability that this is actually a working unit. So, all right, so I'm gonna call this particular flea market find a wrap right here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button, and if you're not already a subscriber, consider subscribing. Take care.